There is a molecule inside your body right now. You cannot see it, you cannot feel it, not at this moment. And for most of your life, you probably never even heard its name. But when you were 20 years old, it was everywhere. It flooded your arteries every time you exercised, every time you laughed, every time you took a slow, deep breath. It made your blood vessels open wide, like highways at 2 a.m. Blood moved freely, oxygen reached every corner. Your heart worked easily, your skin was warm, your mind was sharp. Scientists call it a ghost molecule, and that name is perfect because it appears for just a few seconds and then it vanishes, gone, as if it was never there. Now here's the question nobody's asking. What happens when the ghost stops showing up? Your arteries stop listening, they stiffen, they narrow, and the slow ache of aging begins. Pharmaceutical companies have spent billions trying to bottle this molecule. Entire drug categories exist just to mimic its effects. Nitroglycerin, sildenafil, isosorbide, all of them chemical impersonators of one natural compound. But here is what the research now shows, what science very quietly confirmed more than 20 years ago. You can generate a pharmacy-level dose of this ghost molecule in 60 seconds, using nothing but a specific vibration in your own throat. No prescription, no side effects, no cost, just sound and biology, working exactly the way it was designed to. Stay with me, because I'm going to show you the exact mechanism and the exact technique. And once you understand the science behind it, you will never look at a simple hum the same way again. Chapter 1, The Enemy, Sympathetic Overdrive. Let's talk about what aging actually is, not philosophically, biologically. Most people believe aging is about time. The calendar moves, the body follows. That's the story we've been told. But the research paints a more specific and more actionable picture. At its core, much of what we experience as aging is stiffness, not just in your joints, in your arteries. Your vascular system, the 60,000 miles of blood vessels that keep every organ alive, is designed to be elastic, responsive. Young arteries behave like rubber tubing. They flex, they pulse, they adapt. But over time, under the weight of modern stress and chronic inflammation, they begin to behave more like old garden hose, rigid, resistant, unable to expand the way they were meant to. And here's the mechanism behind that stiffness. When your body perceives stress, real or imagined, your nervous system fires a command: sympathetic activation, fight or flight. Cortisol rises, adrenaline spikes, your arteries constrict, blood is routed away from the organs you need for long-term health, your gut, your sinuses, your prefrontal cortex, and redirected toward your muscles. Your heart rate climbs, your blood pressure rises. This is a beautiful system when a bear is chasing you. But most of us, those of us who've lived through careers and raising children and decades of navigating a complicated world, we've spent years in low-grade sympathetic overdrive. The bear never leaves, the stress never fully resolves, and the arteries, they never fully open back up. The result? Blood pressure creeps upward over the years, energy drops, cognition softens, healing slows, and that ghost molecule, the one that keeps the vessels supple and responsive, is produced less and less. This is not inevitable. It is a state, and every state has an antidote. The antidote to sympathetic overdrive isn't a drug, It's not a supplement. It is a shift in your nervous system, initiated by something as old as the human voice itself. Chapter 2, The Science Bridge, Nitric Oxide. The ghost molecule has a name, nitric oxide, abbreviated NO. And in 1998, the scientist who unraveled its role in the cardiovascular system won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. Nitric oxide is your body's master vasodilator. When your endothelial cells, the cells lining the inside of every blood vessel, produce it, your arteries relax and expand. Blood pressure drops, circulation improves, oxygen and nutrients flood tissues that had been starved. The enzyme responsible for generating it is called endothelial nitric oxide synthase, ENOS. Think of ENOS as the factory. Nitric oxide is what it manufactures. In aging and stressed vascular systems, ENOS activity plummets. Studies measuring serum levels have found it sitting around 1.02 nanograms per milliliter in compromised vasculature, well below what's needed for healthy arterial function. But here's where the story changes. Research has shown that specific vibrational practices can drive ENOS levels from approximately 1.02 nanograms per milliliter to 3.49 nanograms per milliliter. That is nearly a threefold increase in the enzyme that literally rebuilds and repairs your veins. Now, the Karolinska Institute, Stockholm, 2002. A team of researchers wanted to study the effect of humming, simple humming, on nasal nitric oxide production. They expected a modest result, a slight elevation, the kind of data that gets buried in the supplementary materials of an obscure journal. What they found stopped them cold. Humming increased nasal nitric oxide production by a factor of 15. 15 times the baseline, a 1,500% increase compared to silent nasal breathing. 1,500% from humming. The mechanism is elegant. The nasal sinuses are lined with epithelial cells that produce nitric oxide continuously. But NO is heavy. Inert air doesn't move it well. When you hum, the oscillating airflow creates rapid air exchange between the sinus cavities and the nasal passage. The ghost molecule, which would otherwise pool and break down, gets swept into circulation. From there, it enters the bloodstream, and it goes to work. Now, here's the bridge I want you to sit with for a moment. Thousands of years ago, long before fMRI machines or spectroscopy or Nobel Prizes, practitioners across the Indian subcontinent developed a breathing technique. They called it Brahmari, the bee breath, because the sound you make resembles the low drone of a bee inside a flower. They thought, or so the story goes, that they were chanting in devotion, moving through spiritual states, touching something beyond the ordinary. And perhaps they were. But neuroscience reveals the mechanism underneath. They were flooding their bloodstreams with nitric oxide, and they were activating their vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, the longest nerve in the autonomic nervous system. It runs from your brainstem down through your throat, your heart, your lungs, your gut. It is the superhighway of the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair state. When you hum, the physical vibration resonates directly against the vagus nerve in your throat and your inner ears. The signal travels upward. Your brain registers it as safety, as stillness, as the absence of threat. And in response, it calls off the emergency. Cortisol drops, heart rate slows. The arteries, those stiffened, constricted arteries, begin to soften, to open, to breathe. The ancient rishis were not mystifying a simple act. They were practicing precision medicine without the vocabulary. Chapter 3. The Personal Experiment. I'll be honest with you. When I first encountered this research, I was skeptical. Not dismissively so. I've been in this space long enough to know that the body is full of mechanisms we've underestimated. But a hum? Something children do while drawing? I didn't believe it until I actually did it, and then measured what happened. The first time I tried a full 5-minute Brahmari session following the protocol I'm about to give you, I noticed something almost immediately. A warmth behind the bridge of the nose, a clearing sensation in the sinuses, as if a window had been opened, a subtle vibration in the skull that felt less like sound and more like pressure being released. By the second minute, my jaw had unclenched. I hadn't realized I was clenching it. By the third minute, something shifted in my chest. Not dramatic, just quieter. The constant low-frequency hum of alertness that I carry everywhere, and that you probably carry too, had turned down. My resting heart rate, which I monitor, dropped 4 beats per minute by the end of the session. Now, 4 beats doesn't sound like much, but sustained over hours and practiced daily over weeks, that represents a measurable reduction in cardiovascular load. A measurable improvement in heart rate variability, the kind of shift that, compounded over months, shows up in blood pressure readings and cognitive scores. I've spoken with practitioners who have used Brahmari daily for years. What strikes me isn't the dramatic claims, it's the ordinary ones. Better sleep, clearer mornings, blood pressure that finally cooperated, without adding another medication. These are people who've been around long enough to know the difference between placebo and something real. And here's what I want you to hear. You are not coming to this late. The vascular system is remarkably responsive. ENOS activity can be upregulated at any age. Arteries that have stiffened can soften, not completely, not overnight, but measurably with consistent practice. You are not a relic. You are a researcher, and the lab is your body. Chapter 4. The Protocol. How to do it. Here is the technique, exactly as the research supports. You don't need a mat. You don't need to sit cross-legged on the floor. Sit upright in a chair, spine tall, feet flat, comfortable but alert. Now 3 components. 1. The seal. Bring your thumbs to the small cartilage flap just in front of your ear canal. That triangular piece of cartilage is called the tragus. Press it gently inward to block the external world. This isn't just ritual. It amplifies the internal resonance, allowing the vibration to concentrate in the structures adjacent to the vagus nerve. Your remaining fingers can rest lightly over your eyes and brow, or simply fold across your face. Gently, no pressure on the eyes. 2. The pitch. Take a slow, deep nasal breath. Fill the lungs from the bottom up. Now, on the exhale, produce a continuous, high-pitched hum. Think of the sound a bee makes inside a glass jar. Metallic, resonant, not a low moan, a bright, buzzing tone. Aim to feel it vibrating in your cheekbones, your forehead, the top of your skull. That resonance is the mechanism. That is the oscillating airflow mobilizing nitric oxide from your sinus cavities into your bloodstream. 3. The duration. 5 minutes, that is all. Set a timer. Do not watch the clock. Stay with the vibration. If thoughts come, and they will, let them. You're not meditating into emptiness. You're generating a biological signal. The thoughts are irrelevant. The hum is the medicine.
5 minutes. Every day. Morning works well, before the day builds its noise.
But any consistent time is the right time. In the first week, you may notice the sinus clearing sensation, a subtle calm after each session. Don't dismiss this as relaxation. It is relaxation. And relaxation, true parasympathetic activation, is one of the most powerful cardiovascular interventions known to science. In the weeks that follow, if you are monitoring your blood pressure, and I encourage you to, look for a trend, not a single reading, a trend. And notice the mornings. Notice whether the familiar stiffness takes a little longer to arrive, whether the sharp edges of waking are a little softer, whether something in the particular way your body carries the day has shifted. This is not magic. It is chemistry. It is physics. It is the oldest technology the human body possesses, breath and vibration, being understood at last by the instruments we built to study it. The ancient teachers didn't have spectroscopes, but they found the signal anyway. A molecule that appears for seconds and vanishes, an enzyme that rebuilds your veins, a nerve that switches your body from emergency mode to repair mode, and a technique 60 seconds old every time you use it that triggers all of it. You are not a victim of your genetics. You are not a passenger in your own biology. You are the conductor. Pick up the baton. If this reached something in you today, share it with someone you care about. And if you want to go deeper on the neuroscience of aging practices, subscribe. We have a great deal more to explore together. Until next time, breathe well, hum often, and keep researching the most fascinating subject you will ever study, yourself.